Hi friends and subscribers, this is Mohammed Sheikh, and in today's video I'll be discussing how to filter the database records based on different form elements. Okay, here you can see this is our application which we will be going to discuss, which we will be going to create in this video. So here you can see I have taken different form elements like Textbox, Radiobuttons, Dropdowns, and then Datepicker. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be try to get different records based on different selection. Suppose if I type like Suraj, and now if I click on submit, then you can see I will get the record of Suraj. Okay, I get that specific record from the database. And now if I want to get some other record like Anita, okay, and if I click on submit, I will get the record or the details of Anita. And if I want to filter based on gender, if I want to get the records in my database, those who have, if I want to get only the male candidates from the database, then I just have to click on this male, and when I click on submit, then you can see I will get only 2 records which are present in my table. If I want to get details of female records, then I just have to select female, and when I click on submit, I will get the details of only female candidates. Okay, if I further want to filter based on courses, okay, here you can see here inside this drop down I have taken BA, BCom and BSc courses, and if I want to get the records of those students or the users who have taken BCom as their course, and when I click on submit, then you can see I can get only the records of those students who have taken BCom course. Okay, if I want to get BA students, then I just have to click on BA and I will get only the details of BA students. If I select BSc, then I will get the records of BSc students. Okay, if I further want to display the records based on dates, okay, from date and to date, okay, let's see, I will select this. Okay, let's go back. Okay, from here, and let's take here, okay, from March to May. If I want to see how many records I am having, who's having the from and to date between these 2 ranges, then I just have to click on submit. Then you can see these are the records which having the from and to date between the dates of March and May. Okay, so if I further go back to January, if I select this and March, okay, March 31st, let's see here you can see I am having only 2 records between January 1st and March end. Okay, so in this video tutorial we will be going to discuss how we can develop this filter applications, how we can use different filtration using PHP, how we can fetch the data based on different filters like with the Textbox, with the Radiobuttons, with the Dropdown and with the Datepicker. Okay, so we will discuss how we can develop this kind of application in this video tutorial series. Okay, so first we need to create a project. So for that, let's go to our XAMPP. Inside XAMPP I'm having htdocs folder. Inside htdocs I will create a new folder with a name as PHP filters. Okay, so inside this I will create few folders. Okay, so before that I will just take this project inside my editor. I will just come here and I will select open folder, and I will go to htdocs and then PHP filters. Okay, so let's close the previous one. Okay, now here I will create few folders. Okay, so new folder, I will create one folder for storing CSS files, and I will create one more folder for storing JS files, and then one more folder for storing my database configuration details, and I will give it a name as config, and I will create one file with a name called index index.php. okay, so here we need to download CSS and JS files. Okay, so we need to, okay, let's first come here. Okay, here you can see I'm having folders, and inside these folders already I have downloaded all the JS and CSS files which I want for this project. So I want bootstrap.css file and jQuery UI.css file. okay, so this jQuery UI.css file is for displaying the calendar. okay, and I'm having JS folder as well, and inside this we want all these JS files, bootstrap.js, jQuery 1.12.4 .js, and then jQuery.min.js, and then jQuery UI. okay, so now let us see how we can download all these files. First of all, I will put the link of these files in the description of this video. Okay, so now let's first come here, and for downloading jQuery UI like this calendar, you need to go to your browser, and then you need to type jQuery Datepicker in Google, and then very first link, you click on the very first link, and then you will be redirected to here, and then click on this view source button. okay, you will get this text box, and just below that you will get this view source, and then immediately this window will get open, and from here what you need to do is you just need to copy this entire code. okay, and then you need to put it here, okay, inside this address bar. okay, so when you paste this URL into here, and when you enter, you will get this code, and then just select this entire code by pressing Ctrl A, and then copy and then paste it in your editor, and then save it with a name called jQuery UI.css. okay, so create a folder called CSS, and inside that folder you just save it with a name called jQuery UI.css. Again, the same thing you need to do for the rest of the files, jQuery 1.12.4.js as well. okay, you just need to copy this, and then you need to come to your browser window, and then paste it here, and then select it, and then save it with a name called jQuery 1.12.4. okay, and the same thing you have to do for this as well. okay, so this is how you can download all these files. And for these two files, bootstrap.css and bootstrap.js, and then this jQuery 3.1.0.min.js, for these files I will put the link in the description below. okay, so now I already downloaded these files, so what I will do is I will just copy these two folders, I'll just cut it out, and then I will come here to my project. okay, here. okay, so first I will just copy these two files, and then I will come to my project, PHP filters, and then CSS, and then I'll paste it here. okay, and the same thing I will do for JS files. I'll just copy these files, and then I will come to my JS, and then I'll paste it here. okay, so now I have moved my JS and CSS files into my project folder. okay, so now let's come to our editor. You can see here I'm having all these files. okay, so now let's create this file, type doc type HTML, and then HTML. okay, and then title is filters in PHP, and then link. okay, and then for link I'll just link my CSS file, CSS bootstrap.css, and I'll just copy this, and I will change it to jQuery UI.js. okay, jQuery UI.css. okay, now I will link my script JS files, source. okay, inside this I will link these files. okay, first file I should link is jQuery 12.4.js. okay, so first of all I should link this jQuery file, and then I should link my remaining JS files. Okay. And this one is bootstrap.js. okay, so if you don't use this bootstrap.js file, it will not make any problem, so I'll just leave that. I'll just js/jQuery UI.js. okay, and then js/. okay, so now I have linked all my JS and CSS files, and then I will just create one more script. okay, and inside this I will paste this jQuery code, jQuery Datepicker code. okay, I will just copy and then come here and I will paste. okay, now I will just copy this once again, because I want to display two date pickers here. okay, so this one date picker function is for first, okay, and this second one is for here to date. okay, so now let's save it, and then just make it as from and to ID. okay, so now let's come here and create a div with the class of container. okay, now let us check our application. Before checking, okay, now I'll just close these tabs. okay, now let's type 127.0.0.1/php filters. okay, now let's right click and then click on view page source. Now let's see whether our bootstrap.css and JS files have been linked successfully or not. So I'll just click on it. Now let's see. okay, so now it's showing me CSS code, and now let's click on this. okay, this one is also linked. okay, here this is displaying this code as well. okay, now all my CSS and JS files are successfully linked to my application. okay, so now let's come here and then create a new here, okay, with a class of neobar, and then inverse, and inside this I'll create one more div with a class of container fluid. okay, and then inside, okay, now let's see. okay, it's displaying me the header. now let's display an h3. okay, how to filter records using PHP. okay, save it, and now let's refresh. okay, sorry, now it's displaying me that title, so I just need to change the color of that font color. okay, color as white. so now let's refresh. okay, now it's displaying me the title. now let's come here and start creating our form. so for that, let's come back. okay, and then create an h3 tag, and then write PHP filters. okay, now let's save it, refresh. Okay, let's change the styling. Style text align, I want to bring it to the center. Okay, and then font weight, I want to increase the font weight, bold. Okay, now save it. Okay, now next is we need to create a div with the class of row. Okay, so all these classes are coming from bootstrap bootstrap framework. Okay, so that's why we had used this bootstrap.css file. We had included this bootstrap.css file so that we can include the classes of this bootstrap.css file. Because I will put the link of these files in the description below, so you don't have to worry about these files, how you can download these files. I'll just put the links of these files, and easily you can download all these files. Okay, so now let's create the form, and then class form horizontal, and then action will be the same, file index.php, and then method will be post. Okay, and then we will create a div with a class of form group. Okay, and then we'll create a label, the class of column large, 2 columns, and then control label. Okay, and the name of the label will be name. Okay, and then div with a class of column large 4, and then we'll create a input of type text. Name will be name, and class will be form control. Okay, and then placeholder will be name. Okay, now let's see how it's displaying. Okay, so it's displaying me the text box for entering the name of the candidate. Okay, now let's just copy this same piece of code and just repeat it for the gender. Now let's just change it to gender. Okay, and then instead of this text box we have to create a select class gender. Okay, so I'm using Radiobuttons, right? Okay, so let's remove this, and then input type radio. Okay, and then name gender, and then value as male. Okay, and then here male as well. You'll just copy and put it a couple of times, paste it a couple of times, and then radio and gender here it should be female, and the last will be others. Okay, and here it should be female, others. Okay, now save it, and now let's refresh. Okay, it's displaying gender as well. Okay, now we need to create the course. So I will do the same thing. I will just copy and I will put it here, and then change it to course, and instead of these radio buttons I will create a select with a class of course, and then options select. Okay, and then I'll just copy this and put it here. here it should be BA and value will be DA. Okay, I'll just copy and paste it a couple of times, and then second will be BCom, third will be BSc, and here the same thing, BCom and BSc. Okay, and then next I will just copy this and I'll just paste it here, and now I want to create from. For that I will create an input type of text, and name will be from date, and ID should be from. Okay, so the same ID we have to pass here. Okay, so here you can see for this first date picker I had set I have set the ID as from, and the same from ID I have to use here. Okay, and then next I'll just copy the same thing, we'll put it here, and then this should be 2, here it should be 2. Okay, to date. Okay, and then just copy, and then we need to create a submit button. Just copy here and paste it. Okay, we don't want this 2. Okay, just remove it, and then input type submit, and then name should be submit, then class will be btn primary. Okay, here also I should add the class as form control. Just copy and then put it here. Okay, and here as well class form control. Okay, now save it, and now let's refresh. Okay, it's displaying course from and to. Okay, so this course is not displaying properly, so we need to check it here. Course. Okay, select class. Okay, it should be name. Okay, now it will display properly. Okay, now if I click on this, you can see date is displaying, calendar is displaying whenever I click on both of these text boxes. Okay, so these two text boxes are our date picker. Okay, so I'll be able to get this calendar as soon as when I click on these text boxes, because I have used this jQuery.ui.js and jQuery UI.css. Okay, so and I have given the ID for these text boxes from and to, and these two from and to IDs I have used here inside my JavaScript. Okay, so with this I'm calling the date picker function, which is defined inside this jQuery UI.js file. Okay, so now the thing which is left is we need to start creating our database. Okay, so here you can see I'll be using the same database which I have used for this already built application. Okay, so I hope you know how to create a database in PHPMyAdmin. Here you can see I have created a database with a name called filter, and inside that filter I have created a table with a name called records. Okay, if I click on browse, here you can see I have entered these 6 records manually. Okay, so let's go to structure. Okay, so the first field of ID will be of primary key. Okay, I have set this ID as a primary key, and I have created another and the first field is auto incremented as well. Okay, so you need to set two properties, primary key and auto incremented. Here you can see this is this primary key's symbol is having some different color, grayish color. Okay, so that means this ID and this here you can see the key is also indicating here. That means this ID field is set as primary key and auto incremented. Okay, and this is of integer type. And then I have created a field name which is of the varchar, and then email varchar, gender varchar, course varchar, from date will be of the type date, and then to date will be of the type date. Okay, so I have created a table of 7 fields and I have inserted few records. Okay, so for inserting you need to go to insert, and then you need to enter the details of all these fields except ID, because ID I have set as an auto incremented, so you don't have to enter any value for this ID while inserting the data. Okay, so other than ID you have to enter the details for all these fields. Okay, now my database is set, so now let's create our db.php file. Okay, so for that let's come to config and then right click on this config folder and then save it as db.php. okay, and inside this db.php file I will be creating my database. I'll be writing my database configuration details like my server name and then username, password, database. Okay, so all these details I'll be writing here, php, and then server will be 127.1, and then user is root, and password, I haven't set any password for my database, so I'll just leave it as blank, and then db name. Okay, I have created a database, and to the database I have given a name as filter, so I'll just use that filter. Okay, so now let's create a connection object and then MySQL connect. Okay, and then we need to pass this our server details, server, and then user, and then password, and then db name. Okay, and then we need to check using if else condition. Okay, if our connection didn't get established with the database, if not connection, then I'll be displaying an error message to the user saying connection failed. Okay, and then MySQL connect error. Okay, else I will display a message as connection established. Okay, now save it. Okay, now we have created our db.php file. Inside this file we have set our database configuration details, and now we need to include this file, this db.php file inside our index.php file. Okay, so now save it first. Okay, and now let's come here for project. Okay, so now below this form I want to display a table exactly the same way I have displayed here. Okay, so for that I have to come here. Okay, below this first row I need to create one more row due with a class of row. Okay, and then I need to create a table. Okay, with a class of table stripped. Okay, and then table over. Okay, so all these classes are from bootstrap.css. Okay, and then to create a table head. Okay, and then we need to create a row. Okay, and then id td. Okay, here it should be id Okay, I want call fields like name, email, gender, course. Okay, name, gender, email, course. Okay, name, email, gender, course, from and to. Okay, and then just copy and then put it here and then to. Okay, so now let's refresh. Okay, now it's displaying this table. Okay, so the mistake is here. It should be th because that's the header. It should be th. Copy. I'll just put it here. Put it here. Okay, here it should be th. Okay, now save it, and now let's refresh. Okay, now it's displaying the table properly. Okay, now we need to include my db.php file. So for that, I need to create table body. Okay, inside this PHP, include config / db.php. Okay, and here then we need to check if is set. If is set $_post submit. Okay, if our post request is set, okay, so we need to give the same name what I have given for name. Okay, so here name is submit, so I should use the name as submit here inside this is set. Okay, so here I'm checking if the post request is set, then I should get the details like name $_post and then name. Copy. Okay, first is name and then gender. Just copy and put it here, and then email, and then course, from, and then to. Copy, put it here. Okay, and now I need to check for the input validation. Okay, if I need to check for the emptiness, $name is not equals to empty, or okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, name and then gender, email, course, from date. Here it also should be from date, and then here it should be to date. Okay, so here these fields which I have mentioned inside this post array, name, gender, email, course, from date and to date, these fields should exactly same with the fields whatever I have given it here. Okay, here you can see name is name, and then gender, here name will be gender, and then course, name will be course, and then from date. Okay, and then here for to, the name is to date. Okay, so exactly the same name I have to given here. Okay, and these names should exactly also match with the database fields. Okay, so now let's come to our table. Okay, so and these fields are also exactly same with these fields. Okay, and now okay, next. Okay, now we need to write the query of select star from records where name is equals to name. Okay, or gender equals to gender, or email is equals to email, or course is equals to course. Then from date is equals to dollar from date, and then we need to use and to date is equals to dollar to date. Okay, so now these are the database fields: name, gender, email, course. Okay, and whatever I have assigned values, this dollar name, dollar gender, and this dollar email, dollar course, all these details user will be going to enter or select in this form, and those values will get assigned to these database fields. Okay, and then next, data equals to MySQL query. Okay, and then to this I will pass the connection which is coming from my db.php file. Okay, and then query or die error. Okay, and then I will check if my table contains some records or not. If else, okay, here if MySQL num rows greater than 0. Okay, and to this I will pass the data greater than 0, and then while dollar row MySQL fetch associative array. Into this I will pass the data. Okay, and then I will get the records. Dollar id equals to dollar row, and then id. Okay, I am getting the data from the table and I am storing the data inside these variables: id, name, gender, email, and then from date to date. Let's copy, put it here. Okay, now save it, and we need to close it. PHP. Okay, need to create a row, and inside this we need to create a td, and then PHP equal dollar id. Copy, Okay, here name, gender, email, from date, and then to date. Okay, now save it, and then else if our table doesn't contain any records, at that time I will create one more row, and in that I will display a message, records not found. Okay, save it, and now refresh. Okay, it's displaying me an error, unexpected end of file, line 144. Okay, here this if, okay, open and closed, and okay, and this here if, okay, else, okay, PHP, here this one is if, okay, while, open and close. Okay, now save it. Okay, now it's displaying me connection established. Okay, so now let's remove it. Okay, now this one is a database file. Okay, and okay, it's not fetching the records. Connection gets established. Okay, now let's echo this query exit. Okay, so now it will not display. Okay, so here, okay, let it be, okay, let it be like this, and now let's refresh, and now Ajay. Okay, now if I click on submit, now it should display me, okay, it's displaying me undefined index, gender and email, not 1 and 1 not 2, and 1 not 2. Okay, come here, gender and email. Okay, name is gender, name, gender, here it's okay. We don't have email field, undefined index email on 102. Okay, so here I'm not accepting email, so for that I should remove this email from here and from here as well, and then here as well. Okay, save it, let's refresh. Okay, now it's not displaying me any error, so I'll just remove it. Okay, now save it and refresh. Okay, now it's returning me the data of all those records who is having the gender as male. So now let's, okay, but it's not displaying in proper format, so let's see, tr, okay, table, okay, just cut it out, put it here. Now let's refresh. Okay, now it's displaying me, okay, name, gender, email, course, from and to, okay, to date. Okay, let's check female. Okay, it's displaying all the details of female, email, gender, course, from date and to date. Okay, here ID, name, email, gender, course. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, now it's displaying properly. Okay, now if I want to get the details of become, and now it's displaying me undefined index gender. Okay, so here, okay, where is that gender? Okay, here, checked, true, save it. Okay, become students. Okay, it's displaying the details of become. And if I want to get BA, now it's displaying me BA. And now if I want to get BSc students, displaying me BSc as well. Okay, and now let's say if I want to get Anita's details, it's displaying me Anita's details. And then Suraj details. Okay, if I want only male candidates, it's displaying me male. If I want only female candidates, it's displaying me female candidates. And now if I want records from January to May, okay, let's see. Okay, it's not displaying because here you can see our date format is not correct. Okay, so here, so whenever I select any date, it's displaying the date in the format of month, date and year. Okay, here as well, month, date and year, but inside the database is displaying the date in the format of year, month and date. Okay, year, month and date. Okay, so we need to change to this format. So for that we need to come here, we need to change it. Okay, and then here to date. Okay, first from date, I have to change from date, date equals to str to time. Okay, and then to date, and then to date equals date, year, month and date. Okay, here we need to change it to the same format whatever we are having inside our database. So now need to pass this f date. Okay, next we need to do the same thing for to date as well. Okay, here it should be from date. Okay, here to date should be from date. Okay, to date. Okay, now we need to pass this f date here and to date here. Save it. Okay, now let's come back here. Okay, okay, now let's select this first month and then May. Okay, still it's not displaying records. Okay, now let's check here from, okay, here it should be f date, here it should be to date. Okay, and then okay, here it should be greater than and equals to, and here it should be less than. Okay, I want to get the records from these two date ranges. Okay, and now let's refresh. Okay, from 1st January to 31st May, and now it's still not displaying. Okay, start from records where name, gender, course. Okay, and from date is F date, and to date is, okay, here it should be to date instead of F date. Okay, so now let's refresh. Okay, and now let's make it to 1st January, and now let's see. Okay, now it's returning me all the records within that range. Okay, now if I want to select some other date, okay, from 2nd month to May 31st, and now it's displaying me only 4 records that comes under that range. Okay, now if I want to get the record of 2nd to 3rd month, okay, now we don't have any record in that range. Okay, now let's select 2nd to April. Okay, let's take from 2nd to 4th month, Feb to April. Okay, now it's displaying me 2nd record that comes under that range. Okay, so now if I want to get Anita's record, now it's displaying me Anita's record. And now if I want to get only male candidates, it will return me the details of only male candidates. Okay, course here it's not displaying properly. Now let's come here. Okay, ID, name, gender, email, and one more field which is course. Let's refresh. Okay, now displaying me courses. And now if I want to filter based on courses, see here it's displaying only BCom. And now if I want only BA candidates, displaying BA, and if I want BSc, displaying me BSc record. Okay, so this is how we can filter the records. Okay, now when I refresh, at this time it's not displaying me anything. Okay, so at this time it should display me all the records. So for that, what I should do is I will come here in else condition. Okay, here I will put not. Okay, and then I will take it, I will cut it, and I will put it here. Okay, and then I will select whatever is there inside this if condition. I will copy and I will just put it here. Okay, and I will just change this query, select star from records. Okay, that's all. Whenever I enter into my project. Okay, so now if I want to see only BCom students, I can see only BCom. If I want to see BA students, I can get only BA. If I want only male, then only male candidates. If I want female, then I will get female candidates. If I want to get some specific record, then I will get only that record. Okay, so this is how we can apply different filters on PHP using PHP. Okay, so I hope you like this video. I hope you got some useful and valuable information out of this video. If you like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks for watching.